Welcome everyone to another episode of T-Shirt Cooking. For today's episode, we will be once again revisiting another Bulkbarn recipe, and this one is the red velvet cake bake mix, but instead we'll be doing the muffin recipe. And now I've laid out the ingredients here already before starting the video. What we have here, the exact measurements are 375 grams of the cake mix. We have 60 milliliters of seed oil. We have 100 milliliters of water. We have 2 large eggs, and I don't have it written down for how long we're going to be baking this. As a matter of fact, I don't actually have anything written down, but based on the measurements that I've read online, then I split the recipe in 2, etc. That's what the measurements should approximately be. Anyways, who cares about the paper? Nobody reads that. I almost threw a plate off the table. So let's get back to the recipe here. So now we're allegedly supposed to all put this all into a mixer and mix it for 1 minute slowly, then pause for whatever reason, and then mix it for 4 minutes faster before putting it in the oven at a 365 degrees preheated oven. All right, I'm just gonna put this in the bowl, and you get the gist.
For the quantities, you could either find it in the description, and if I don't feel like putting it in the description, you can find it on the Bulkbarn website, and then just adjust the quantity to however many muffins you're making. Quick reminder to like, sub, share with your friends, do what you gotta do. Let's get some engagement on this video, see what happens.
Everything is in the bowl right now. Now, I'm sure you've noticed that there's the T-shirt cooking mug. Impossible to not see this. This is an extremely exclusive piece of merch that only a few select individuals have. If you do want one for your own, send me about $120 Canadian, which is maybe like $16 in Monopoly money or so in these trying times. But it's about that, and you may get one to your own front door. We don't know, we'll see, maybe. Let's just go straight to the mixing. It is now mixing, and I really hope I'm in camera shot right now, the device that we're using to film here. My film editor is also giving me messages as well to stay within camera shot. Just kidding, I don't have a film editor or any director of any sort. Now we're gonna let this roll for about a minute or so. While we do that, is there anything that I need to do while we do that? This we could put it in the sink for now. The oven's already preheating. The story about these cup things, just want to point out that I had this thing for maybe 15 years, and I went to pull it out because I wanted to make this video about 40 minutes ago, and it turned out it was all rusted. So I tried to scrub all the rust out, and then I realized that I probably shouldn't make rusted muffins. So I ran to the dollar store. Within minutes of it closing, I was able to pick up these baking cups for $1.50, and I've never used baking cups. Therefore, we'll see what this is all about. All right, okay, that was more difficult than expected. This should be about a minute. Now we're told to stop the machine for whatever reason, and now we're supposed to mix it for 4 minutes at higher speed. What I'm going to do is I'm going to scrape the edges. Not sure what these are called really. Spatula maybe? Plastic spatula, or is this rubber? I don't really know what kind of material this is. We're going to scrape the edges here. If I had a secondary camera, I'd show you guys what this looks like. But right now it just looks sort of, you know what, I'm not gonna say what it looks like because then YouTube is gonna censor me. So I'm just not gonna say what it looks like. We're gonna mix it now a little bit faster.
At this time, we're mixing it faster, so to speak, for a total of approximately 4 minutes. This is just obviously fast forwarded for viewing pleasure.
We are now back. If you take a look at what this stainless steel apparatus looks like with this sort of crimson colored fluid leaking from it, you could likely understand why I didn't want to describe exactly what I thought it looked like, as it could get me banned on YouTube. But this is basically, you know what, I'm just not gonna say okay, you know what, let me just not finish that sentence. And instead, we'll continue with the recipe. Put this in the sink as well. And now I'm just gonna show you guys what it looks like in the bowl. I'm just gonna mix it by hand. It's just always something that I like to do. I always like to mix by hand after the machine mixes. I need to find synonyms for the word mix. The alliteration is bothering me, so imagine the viewer. All right, this is what it looks like, something like this. Sort of the remains that someone leaves behind after unaliving themselves with the use of a high-powered rifle. to the head. Anyways, we're gonna cut all that. Yeah, we're definitely gonna cut that part out. The intrusive thoughts made it out by accident. So now what we're gonna do is I've lined up this 12 muffin apparatus with these cups. I've never used cups like this. They do seem a bit thin. Maybe I should have doubled them up. I'm not sure. I don't know how this works, but I guess we don't need the grease. I guess not. We'll just leave this on the side. And now, by the way, I'm not bleeding. That's just the color. And now I will find a way to sort of separate this in 12. So we're gonna pour a little bit in each one until they all somewhat look at the same level. This is not gonna go well. This is likely gonna go horribly. There's definitely another way to do this. Yeah, there's another way to do this, but you know what? Let's not use another way. Let's do it this way.
At this point, I muted the audio because I was saying things that I likely should not have said as I was dipping this crimson liquid into cups.
Imagine if I would have told my younger self that I would be attempting to make red velvet muffins at this age on camera and attempting to pour 12 identical portions of red velvet muffins from a large bowl into carton muffin cups. I don't even know where I'm going with this. Anyways, let's just keep pouring. There's another way to do this. Tell me in the comments. Tell me in the comments what the other way is to do this. We're not gonna cut any of this. This whole entire sequence is staying in. This entire thing is staying in. We're just, except that one part where I mentioned that metaphor that maybe, I don't know, you know, who cares? We're gonna keep that in too. You know what, we'll keep it in the video.
As it happens, we did not.
I thought red velvet had chocolate chips in it, or maybe white chocolate chips. Do I have chocolate chips that I could add to maybe one of them just to test? This is gonna be a pain in the ass to clean. I just feel it. You know, sometimes you're making a recipe and you know that the cleaning is gonna be a problem. We're not cutting any of this. This is all staying in, all of it. Fast forward this part if you don't like it.
We did in fact cut the majority of this.
It was definitely a better way to do all of that, but nevertheless, we made it. Should I wipe all these corners? How does this work without ruining the papers? Dang, I just made that worse. All right, maybe this one? Oh, okay, that's not this is not working. All right, you know what? We're just gonna throw this in the oven and whatever we get, we get. So guys, I'll see you in approximately 30 or so minutes. I think it's 23 minutes to bake. Then we're just gonna wait for them to cool off. Oh, we're gonna put chocolate chips in one of them. So that's what we're gonna do. Let's go find some chocolate chips in the house. All right, I found chocolate chips. That was convenient. One might say that I may have even planned this. Who knows? Just kidding, t-shirt cooking doesn't have any scripts. So we'll cut this open right now. I'm dirtying everything in my kitchen right now with these hands that look like this. Okay, we're gonna put chocolate chips in just one of them. Put in this one. I feel like that's way too many chocolate. But anyways, way too many. Maybe not enough, all right? Maybe not enough. Okay, so it looks like this. We're gonna put it in the oven. We'll be back. We are now back and it is time to evaluate and taste the Bulkbarn Red Velvet muffins. In this case, we made 12 with one that has chocolate chips, as we could see here. And it looks like my sizes weren't that off, except for maybe this one. This one's a little bit larger. They didn't stick, so now it's about 5 minutes since I've taken them out of the oven. We haven't made too much of a mess either. I thought this would have made a lot more of a mess. Turns out these papers are quite a good idea. Now I'm gonna see if when I pull these papers, and this, I never liked it. Even when I was a little kid, when I used to eat muffins, I never liked pulling the paper and then the muffin gets stuck to the paper. I don't know if anybody else just never liked that. I don't like that, but you know what? We'll try it with these muffins and we'll see what happens. Now you can see there's even a few dishes here. In only one other video do you see dishes in the sink, and you're gonna have to, you know what? Let me know in the comments which video it is. If you think you know, let me know, or don't let me know if you even made it this far. Oven's open too. I had my hands in the oven. I was just warming up. Back to the muffins. Keep going on random tangents. I don't know how this keeps happening. What was I doing? Oh yes, we're gonna test a muffin. In this case, let's take a chocolate chip muffin, which is the outlier. This wasn't part of the recipe to put chocolate chips. I feel like white chocolate chips would have been a good idea. Let's move this a little bit over here and let's make a mess directly on the counter, which I could then, oh, okay, there you go. You see already the paper now is not separating. I knew this was gonna be a problem. Oh, I spoke too soon, it is separating. All right. The paper is separating. Okay, it's not separating. Pieces all over the counter and floor right now. Paper did separate. All right, let's break the muffin in half in an unsatisfactory sort of way. Yeah, I didn't like that. You know, you see that in commercials, they break the muffin in half, and I don't like that. I like to just bite into the muffin. But here's just because I want to see what the inside looks like. In terms of cooking, it feels like it was cooked right at 23 minutes. We're gonna keep poking it. We will now take a bite. So I will take a bite of this muffin. We'll see what we get.
As per usual, we always mute the chewing because we're individuals of culture and not individuals of spherical persuasions.
So the muffin itself is just a triple chocolate muffin, as red velvet is. Red velvet is usually just triple chocolate, but with that red 40 color, whichever poisonous color it is, which I think is not being banned. I don't even know. By the time this video comes out, I think it's banned. Anyway, so it just tastes like a triple chocolate muffin. Not really much more to it. I mean, why do I feel like this camera's not filming right now? So it just tastes like an ordinary triple chocolate muffin. I put chocolate chips in it, or maybe that's what makes it triple chocolate, or double chocolate. Okay, I don't, double chocolate, or why do they call it triple chocolate? My hands are full of chocolate right now. I don't know what's going on. This looks messy. Where was I going with this? I had a point in mind. Oh, yes. So in terms of the recipe itself, it does taste a little bit dry. I wouldn't say it's super dry, but it does taste a little bit dry. Maybe I could try cooking it a minute less the next time. In terms of eating it just like this, I would definitely suggest some sort of icing or chocolate chips or some other addition to it. And we will have a series of these recipes because when I went to Bulkbarn, to avoid going for multiple trips, what I did was I picked up multiple different recipes and we'll be testing them and releasing them as we go on. I had another point to mention, but I completely forgot. Oh yes, don't forget sub, like, comment, send this video to everybody you know. Sub, comment, watch it in its entirety. What else do I have to say? There's so many other things to say. You know, we'll leave it at that. Let's just cut this video.